Imagine a billionaire who has everything to lose and a woman who has nothing left but her heart to give. When fear meets love, and lies intertwine with the truth, what becomes of a man who hides in plain sight? Will love conquer fear, or will secrets tear them apart? Subscribe to African Folktale Story for more tales that will captivate your heart and soul. It was a chilly evening in downtown Lagos when Jide, a billionaire with an empire stretching across Africa, made a decision that would change his life forever. For months, he had been living in fear of his uncle Sanni, a notorious crime lord who had promised to destroy Jide's life if he didn't comply with his corrupt schemes. Jide knew his uncle was capable of anything. The only way to escape the clutches of his uncle's underworld was to disappear. And so, the wealthy tycoon shed his identity, leaving his towering skyscrapers, luxurious cars, and endless staff behind. He became a man of the streets, blending in with the homeless in the bustling heart of Lagos. Jide's family had always been a complex puzzle. His father, Chief Bamidele, was a stern man who valued legacy over love, while his mother, Ifeoma, was a gentle soul often overshadowed by her husband's dominating presence. They had always been proud of Jide's success, but the family's wealth had attracted envy, including from Sanni, Jide's uncle, who believed he deserved a larger share of the family fortune. Sanni's greed led him to a life of crime, and his threats became a dark shadow over Jide's life. Each day, Jide wandered the streets, learning the harsh realities of survival. He saw hunger, despair, and the resilience of those who had nothing. Despite the overwhelming fear of being recognized, he began to see life through a different lens, one where power and wealth meant nothing compared to genuine human connection. He avoided the affluent areas where he was most likely to be recognized, instead seeking solace in the anonymity of crowded marketplaces and busy alleys. He quickly learned the unspoken rules of the streets and the value of a kind word or gesture. Not far from where Jide now roamed, there was a small bakery run by Ada, a young woman with dreams that had long since been dimmed by life's harsh realities. Ada had once believed in love, but her heart had been broken by Tund, her cousin's fiancé. Tund had led her on, promising love and marriage while secretly maintaining his engagement to her cousin, Amaka. The betrayal left her scarred and wary of trusting again, especially as her family scorned her for her role in the scandal. Despite her pain, Ada's kindness never faded. She would often save leftover bread for the homeless men who lingered near her bakery, a habit that brought her solace amidst her own struggles. Her bakery was modest, but filled with the warm aroma of fresh bread, a haven in the chaotic streets of Lagos. Every morning, she woke up before dawn, kneading dough with determination, her hands moving with both skill and a quiet desperation to keep her business afloat. Each loaf of bread carried with it her unspoken hopes and dreams, as well as her silent fears about an uncertain future. One day, as Ada handed out bread, her eyes met Jide's. His tattered clothes and unkempt beard masked the sharp intellect and refined demeanor he once carried. But something in his gaze caught her attention. It was a mixture of gratitude and sorrow, a reflection of a story untold. He thanked her softly, his voice betraying a hint of the man he used to be. She couldn't explain why, but she felt drawn to him, sensing there was more to his story. Ada began to notice how Jide lingered near the bakery, often helping other homeless men or simply observing the bustling streets. Despite his quiet demeanor, there was an air of dignity about him that intrigued her. She found herself wondering who he was before life brought him to the streets. The curiosity was unsettling but irresistible. Jide began frequenting the bakery, not for the bread but for the fleeting moments of connection with Ada. She had a way of speaking that made him feel human again, even when the world saw him as just another beggar. Slowly, he started helping her around the shop, fixing broken shelves, repairing the old oven, and sweeping the floors. In return, she gave him meals and, unknowingly, a glimmer of hope. One afternoon, as they worked side by side repairing a creaky shelf, Ada turned to him. "You're different from the others," she said, her voice gentle but probing. "Where did you learn to do all this?" Jide hesitated, then offered a half-truth. "Life teaches you many things when you have no choice but to learn." Her curiosity grew, but she didn't press him further. Instead, she marveled at how effortlessly he seemed to fit into her world. Despite his ragged appearance, there was a calm competence in everything he did. Over time, she began to confide in him about her struggles, her family's expectations, her financial troubles, and her lingering heartbreak. Her words carried the weight of disappointment and determination, a mixture Jide found both heartbreaking and inspiring. Jide, in turn, opened up about his family, sharing fond memories of his mother's wisdom and the strained relationship with his father. He spoke vaguely of a powerful uncle who had caused him immense grief but avoided revealing the full extent of his past. As the days turned into weeks, Jide's admiration for Ada grew. He saw her struggles, her strength, and the way she carried herself despite the weight of her past. She was determined to keep her bakery running despite financial difficulties and her family's constant pressure. Yet, he could not bring himself to reveal his true identity. He feared that the truth would not only put her in danger but also shatter the fragile bond they had built. Every night, he wrestled with his conscience, knowing he was building a relationship on half-truths. Meanwhile, Ada's family began pressuring her to marry. They were aware of her heartbreak and Tun's betrayal, but they saw marriage as a solution to her problem. Desperate to escape their judgment, Ada found herself contemplating a relationship with another suitor, Chuka, a man who promised stability but not love. Chuka was a wealthy trader, well regarded in the community. He was everything Ada's family wanted for her, successful, respectable, and eager to marry. But while he offered security, he lacked the warmth and understanding Ada longed for. Jide watched from the shadows as Ada struggled with her choices. His heart ached, but he felt powerless. How could he ask her to wait for a man who might never be able to reclaim his life? He wondered if revealing his past would be enough to keep her from settling for less than she deserved. Ada's nights were sleepless as she wrestled with her options. Chuka was persistent, showering her with gifts and promises of a comfortable life. Yet, every time she thought of accepting his proposal, her mind drifted to Jide, his quiet strength, his unspoken pain, and the unexplainable connection they shared. Her internal struggle grew more intense with each passing day. One fateful evening, as Ada closed the bakery, she found Jide sitting outside, looking more lost than ever. Unable to hold back, she confronted him. "Why do you always seem like you're hiding from something?" she asked. The question hung in the air. Jide knew it was time. He took a deep breath and began to tell her the truth. About his wealth, his uncle, and why he had chosen to live as a homeless man. The words came haltingly at first, but as he continued, his voice grew steadier, filled with both vulnerability and resolve. Ada's eyes widened in disbelief. For a moment, she said nothing. Then, she simply asked, "Why would a man with so much choose to lose everything?" "Because love and safety mean more to me than money," he replied. Ada listened intently, her heart torn. She wanted to believe him, but the weight of his revelation left her questioning everything she thought she knew about the man she had grown to care for. Was he truly the kind, selfless person she had come to know, or was he still hiding something? Their conversation lasted hours, stretching into the quiet of the night. Jide shared glimpses of his former life, the pressures of his wealth, and the shadow of his uncle's threats. Ada, despite her doubts, couldn't deny the sincerity in his voice. Yet, the risks of aligning herself with him loomed large in her mind.